Hello and welcome everyone to my channel. Today we have Shubham here with us who has interned with Morgan and Stanley. So Shubham will introduce himself to us.
Hi everyone, I am Shubham. So I was a summer intern at Morgan Stanley in year 2021, and after that I did a 6 month internship at Amazon, and currently I am working as a full time ST at Amazon.
That's nice, Shubham. That's great to know about you. So we'll be starting with the procedure about the Morgan and Stanley internship. So let's begin with that. So I wanted to ask you who all can apply for the internship.
So anyone who is passing in 2025 batch for this year can apply. There is no limitation from branch perspective. So anyone who is interested in the program can go ahead and apply.
Okay. So I wanted to know what is the selection procedure for the test round if there is.
So firstly, when you apply on their portal, you provide them your resume. So some resume shortlisting is done by them, and after that there is a online assessment, and after that there are a couple of interviews. So mostly if your resume passes resume screening round, you get the OA link, which is online assessment link, and correspondingly, if you clear the online assessment, you proceed with the interviews.
Okay. So is there anything special we can take care of to ensure that our resume stands out or something like that that ensures that we are selected for the test, online test?
So if you know Java, make sure to highlight that because although there are many tech stacks being used at Morgan Stanley, Java remains the primary tech stack. So if you are already working with Java or Spring, make sure to highlight that. That would definitely give you some bonus points. Other than that, this is true for all companies. Make sure to highlight your projects that you have done, don't just copy paste your projects from YouTube tutorials. Try to make them yourself and highlight them in your resume. As you don't, if you have done any past internship, highlight that also. But if you haven't, then your project should stand out for you. Uh, like Apart from the basic things that you mentioned in resume, the projects are the most important thing if you don't have any previous experience.
Okay, so that's great to know a lot about the insights as well. So if you want to know how you can build a good resume, I have linked the video to that video above in this corner so you can watch out for it. Now coming to the next question. So what is the test format and the interview format?
So, the online assessment test is mostly focused on DSA. So you would be getting, I don't remember correctly, two or three data structure algorithm questions. So they are mostly uh, easy to medium level. So if you have practiced enough, you should be able to do them without any issues. After that, you get uh, an interview round which also focuses on DSA. So that would be like live coding round. You would be writing the code and discussing the problem statement with them, with the interviewer at that time only. Apart from that, they also ask question related to object-oriented programming and DBMS operating system. So basically, core subjects. You can pay attention to object-oriented programming. So that I would say is their favorite, and they also have a debugging round in their interview. So they will provide you a code snippet, and there would be some bugs in that code. So firstly, they will ask you to identify those bugs, and then they will ask you to fix those bugs also.
Okay.
So that, the programming language is mobile, you can choose the programming language of your preference, but be sure whichever language you choose, you are proficient with it. So otherwise, you won't be able to identify all the bugs. And yeah, as I mentioned, object-oriented programming is important. So if your oops concept are clear, you would be able to debug that code snippet easily.
Okay.
Other than that, I would say like hash map is their favorite data structure. So you should know the internal working also of hash map. So unlike some other companies, their interview is not only focused on the data structure and algorithm problem. They also like ask core subjects, and they also will like in the next round they will also ask your about your projects and previous experience.
Okay, so that's an overall all the things that we have to take care that we study in our college years as well as DSA and the resume itself. So wanted to know where can a person prepare for the DSA rounds? Is lead code sufficient for that?
Yeah. So you can either practice on lead code or you can practice on interview bit. So mostly like across companies, except for few, the data structure and algorithm questions remain similar. Those patterns are like being followed across the industry. So if you practice enough, understand the functioning of every data structure, the optimizations, you should be able to uh, pass the interview, and any you can use any site. And like yeah, you can also practice the previous year questions asked by Morgan Stanley or companies in similar domain like JP Morgan, etc.
Okay. So apart from that, I wanted to know like were the people given a chance for a full time opportunity as well, and if there were any selection criteria, then what was that?
Yeah, so like the uh, entrance bar is pretty high in Morgan Stanley, so it is more difficult to land an internship than to get converted. The conversion ratio is pretty good there. So around 60% people were converted to full time, at least like they got an offer. But you also have to keep in mind that there is a conversion interview also. So after your internship completes, they take another round of interview, which is the conversion interview. uh, so, like mostly before providing the offer, they take in three things. So, the result of conversion interview, the project that you worked on. So, you have to give a demo to the your director. They will get the feedback from your director also. So, the project that you worked on while internship is pretty important, and the last thing would be the feedback from your manager. So these three things together decide whether you would be converted or not.
Okay, so these are some great details to know about. So coming to the next point, are there is there any special advice for people who are preparing for this opportunity?
Yeah, just like I would say, don't focus on one company only. Like keep your preparation wide. So do all the questions that you come across, read through all the concepts. But while preparing for a specific company, do like go through their basically leadership principles or the basically the principle like the principle they operate by. So as a college student, we think like these are useless, but in companies, like they do a cultural fit test, and at that time, those principles become pretty important. So you should like read through them and try to portray those in the interview that you possess them.
Okay, that's good to know about it. So I would like to ask you what are your top three advices to anyone who is just starting out to prepare for these companies?
Well, firstly, like if you are preparing for a MNC, data structure and algorithm problems become pretty important. So every MNC at least have one round for data structure and algorithm. So you should practice lots of questions for that. You can also try competitive programming if that interests you. Other than that, if like you should not limit yourself to MNCs only. Startups provide a pretty good experience. So if you try for a startup, like the projects become pretty important. So whatever tech stack you work on, like make sure that you have a depth in that. So you should be knowing the concepts in that tech stack. You should be having good projects, and mostly startups will give you assignments to work on. So you should be able to do that. And so don't focus. I would say don't focus on MNC only. You should try for startups also. That's my one advice. Other than that, like if you are trying for MNC, make sure to practice DSA well, and also go through the previous experiences, interview experiences for the particular company you're trying, so that you get the knowledge, what they focus on, what they don't. If they ask core subjects also, if they don't, so try to do that also.
Okay, so that's great. So if anyone is looking to prepare for the interview experiences, they are available on Geeks for Geeks, and they have quite a lot of sets of that. So you can go through that and practice it with a peer. So yeah, so that wraps it up. So thank you, Shubham, for joining and letting us know in detail about the entire process. So bye everyone. If you like today's content, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.
Okay.